Chapter 611. 33 weeks. Jian Yun bit her lips, and the redness on her face disappeared. She became pale and bloodless. At this moment, her heart was not calm. Now Granny Liao knew about her pregnancy. Then he must also know. So she was really afraid that Granny Liao's purpose of coming to find her this time was. Granny Liao was so happy that she did not notice the change in Jian Yun's expression. Her face was full of excitement, and her eyes were shining. She seemed to want to reach out and touch, but her hands were trembling violently. She reached over and pulled back as if she was afraid that she would anger Jian Yun. "Big sister, don't worry. We just want to see you, not snatch the baby." Hu Qingcheng walked in at some point and sat beside Granny Liao. She quietly looked at Jian Yun, and her eyes were sparkling with tears. Granny Liao seemed to have just noticed Jian Yun's nervousness. She quickly wiped the tears from the corner of her eyes and hurriedly comforted her. "Yes, Yun, don't be nervous. We have no other intention but to see you and the baby. We were unable to find you before. This time it was AZ who told me that you are here. Yun, Grandma is sorry. You hate me, right? But Grandma is really grateful to you. Thank you for really keeping him." Jian Yun tightly bit her lips, but still did not say anything. Hu Qingcheng sighed, and her face was full of guilt. "Sister, I am sorry. At that time I was locked up by Mom, so I was unable to help you and brother. Can you forgive Big Brother? He really didn't betray you, nor did he betray your relationship. It was all because that woman, Orphe, colluded with Hu Chengfeng. Yes, Yun. Lian Cheng loves you so much. He can't bear to let you suffer a little. How could he betray you?" Granny Liao said, and started to wipe her tears again. "Sister, Orphe, is a family doctor of Liao family. Brother was seriously injured before, and the bullet almost hit his heart. Orphe participated in the treatment. That day, my brother wanted to go home to look for you. He met Orphe on the way, and Orphe was drenched in the rain. She seemed to have been bullied before. Although the Yu family is not a big family, they have known our family for a long time, so my brother took her to the hotel. In the end, Orphe also dirtied her brother. He took a shower in the hotel and waited for his assistant to deliver clothes. Sister, not only my brother and Orphe in the hotel, there were also 2 people. Sister, if you don't believe me, you can look at the hotel's surveillance." Hu Qingcheng saw that Jian Yun kept her head down and did not say anything. She could not help but feel more nervous, and her eyes were full of worry. "Don't blame Big Brother. Big Brother really loves you. I know you also love Big Brother. Otherwise, you would not have gone through so much trouble to keep this child. Big sister, come back, okay?" Hearing this, Jian Yun, who did not speak all this time, raised her head to look at Hu Qingcheng. Her eyes were deep and the corners of her mouth curled into a smile. She calmly asked, "Where am I going back to?" "Go back to your brother's side, sister. The past has passed. From now on, no one will ever separate you." Hu Qingcheng's eyes suddenly lit up. She reached out to grab Jian Yun's hand that was placed on the table. This was the first thing Jian Yun said to her today. It really made Hu Qingcheng very excited. Great uncle and the others also know that they are wrong. This time when Grandma and I came, he and uncle specially wanted us to bring you a message. Let bygones be bygones. They also hope that you can get back together with Big Brother. However, Jian Yun quietly withdrew her hand. The smile on the corner of her mouth also became mocking. Under Hu Qingcheng and Granny Liao's expectant eyes, she did not express anything to Hu Qingcheng's words. She only said indifferently, "You guys go." "Big sister. Yun." Hu Qingcheng and Granny Liao looked at Jian Yun in disbelief. They had tried so hard to persuade her. Could it be that Jian Yun had a heart of stone and was not moved at all? "Yun, can you stop being stubborn? Just treat it as if Grandma is begging you. Look, you're going to give birth soon. Do you want this child to be born without a father?" Granny Liao's eyes were red, and she said in a trembling voice, "Do you want him to be born in a single-parent family and be ridiculed for not having a father in the future?" "No." Jian Yun met Granny Liao's eyes and smiled. "He will not be born in a single-parent family." Hu Qingcheng saw Jian Yun lowered her head and reached out to stroke her pregnant belly. The coldness and paleness on her face was gone. At this moment, her eyes were gentle and the corner of her mouth was smiling. Under the thick maternal light, her beauty was soul-stirring. "Big sister, what do you mean by this?" Hu Qingcheng suddenly had a bad feeling in her heart, and Granny Liao's expression also changed. Hope that it was not what they guessed in their hearts. But Jian Yun only said this sentence and did not explain much. You guys go. Raising her head again, Jian Yun's face had already recovered its calm. She looked at Hu Qingcheng and Granny Liao, who had clearly recovered their health, and said quietly, I do not hate you guys, but I cannot go back. If you guys insist on asking me for a reason. Speaking up to this point, Jian Yun paused, and the corner of her mouth suddenly revealed a mocking smile. I cannot climb up to your family. In the imperial capital, the atmosphere in the Liao family's residence was very tense. Liao Zhongli was so angry that he was running around. Several expensive vases had already been broken on the ground. Liao Shigong, Liao Shibing, and the others all had stiff faces, not to mention the other juniors of the Liao family. They were all scared and did not dare to breathe loudly. Why does this brat not know what's good for her? What do you mean by she can't climb up to the top? We've all gone to beg her in such a humble manner, but she doesn't know how to appreciate us. With my temper. With your temper, what do you want? Granny Liao sat on the sofa with a gloomy face, and only looked at Liao Zhongli mockingly. So, how does General Liao plan to deal with my Yun this time? Liao Shufen, don't forget your surname is Liao. Look at what that good grandson of yours did. In any case, my Liao family has treated him well. He actually tore down our station and suppressed us financially. A few of my Liao family companies were ruined by him. Now, we have to sell our properties to maintain our expenses. This is cheating. Liao Zhongli was so angry that he was fuming with anger. The veins on his forehead were bulging. In just a few months, Liao Zhongli's hair had turned white. Because he had been suppressed during this period of time, his temper had become very irritable. However, Granny Liao always liked to provoke him, which made him so angry that he almost went to the hospital when his blood pressure rose several times. The other members of the Liao family were also indignant. Although the Liao family was a military and political family, and they didn't rely on business to make a fortune, the Liao family was huge, and not everyone could walk on the road of military and governance. Therefore, some of their descendants entered the shopping mall. Moreover, even if Liao Zhongli and the others were in high positions, they still needed money to back them up. Swoosh. 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 Hu Liancheng destroying the Liao family's company was the same as cutting off the Liao family's financial path. Such an action was extremely shameful. Granny Liao curled her lips and said with disdain, Then why didn't you say that Liancheng helped the Liao family settle the trouble? If it wasn't for him, do you think you would still be able to stand here and shout at me? Liao Zhongli's foot hurt, and he stopped talking. Liao Shigong and the others also looked down. What Granny Liao said was exactly what had made the Liao family so anxious that there was nothing they could do. When Liao Shigong wanted to transfer the lieutenant general, he had a formidable opponent. After discussing with Liao Zhongli, he decided to settle it with money. However, the Liao family didn't have that much money, so he borrowed a large sum of money from the Hu family to bribe and pave the way for himself. In total, it was more than 1 billion yuan. Don't look at how generous the Liao family was when they forced Jian Yun to divorce. A few million yuan and a house worth tens of millions of yuan were thrown out like cabbages. But at that time, they really had no way out. The only request that the Ma family could help them was for Hu Liancheng to marry Mu Wanru. Moreover, the Hu family had already been controlled by Hu Chengfeng. If he checked the accounts, he would definitely pursue the money borrowed by the Liao family. The higher-ups were especially strict when it came to opposing corruption. Once the matter was exposed, not only Liao Shigong, but the entire Liao family might be investigated. A family had already collapsed earlier. Besides, which big family doesn't have any tricks up their sleeves? They can't be clean, even if nothing happened in the end. It would still damage their vitality. It would be very difficult for the Liao family to establish themselves in the capital. Liao Zhongli originally thought that since the Hu family was occupied by Hu Chengfeng, Hu Liancheng definitely wouldn't be able to defeat him. Who would have thought that Hu Liancheng would leave behind such a trump card? The economic war a while ago was simply breathtaking. The return of the king of Hu Liancheng had turned the tables perfectly. Hu Chengfeng was captured, and the Hus was once again in Hu Liancheng's hands. The thing that they were most worried about was also resolved. Then, Hu Liancheng acted as if he had gone mad and started to deal with the Liao family. Every single one of the Liao family's family members had been in deep trouble recently, but Liao Zhongli wanted to use his power to suppress them. However, he discovered that there was a greater and greater power behind Hu Liancheng. He was so frightened that he quickly shrank his head and did not dare to move again. Not only did Hu Liancheng cut off the Liao family's finances, he even let his most powerful fighters challenge the Liao family's most powerful elites. That Jifeng was simply abnormal. A madman like Liao Kefeian couldn't even last more than 10 moves in his hands. Liao Kefeian was beaten black and blue. 2 of his ribs were broken, not to mention the others. During this period of time, the people of the Liao family were in a state of panic. All the men had to dress up when they went out. Even so, they were still beaten until their faces were swollen. After that, the days of the Ma family weren't good either. 2 months ago, the Mu family was exposed to a huge amount of bribery scandal. Then, the stock prices plummeted, and the subsidiary companies went bankrupt. Mu Wanru's company also lost its capital chain. In just a short period of time, a big family that once dominated the capital had declined just like that. Later on, the Liao family finally understood that anyone who humiliated Jian Yun was the one who suffered the most. Judging from the fate of the Mu family, Hu Liancheng was already very kind to the Liao family. But they really didn't understand. Hu Liancheng was such a powerful man. Why did he have such high regard for that ordinary girl? The atmosphere in the Liao family's residence was very strange. In the silence, Liao Shigong wiped his face and said awkwardly, "Aunt, we were wrong about what happened before. We didn't think about it. Just look at how the Liao family treated you and Liancheng in the past. Help us. If Liancheng continues to go crazy, our Liao family's foundation will be shaken. How will we be able to establish ourselves in the imperial city in the future?" Liao Shibing chimed in. "That's right. Liancheng usually listens to you the most. Tell him to stop. If he continues to torture us like this, won't he be a joke to outsiders? You guys are afraid of being laughed at? When you guys forced Liancheng and Jian Yun to divorce and engaged the woman surnamed Mu, according to your wishes, why aren't you afraid that Liancheng will be seen as a joke?" She continued. "When you were leading the public opinion online and made so many people scold my Yun, why weren't you afraid that she would be seen as a joke?" She continued. "Now it's your turn. Are you afraid of being laughed at?" Granny Liao became agitated. Her eyes were red as she looked angrily at these nominal relatives in front of her. Her gaze was terrifyingly cold. She really regretted it now. How could she have been bewitched and agreed to their suggestion to force Hu Liancheng to do what he did not want to do? In the end, she even caused him and Jian Yun to be separated. Jian Yun was about to give birth, but she would not forgive Hu Liancheng no matter what. If Jian Yun really married another man, Hu Liancheng would definitely go crazy. Her Hu family's flesh and blood would also be lost. Everyone in the Liao family fell silent once again. Even though they were very indignant, no one dared to refute Granny Liao's words because they did not want to be beaten up again. "Little sister, we did wrong in that matter. We also apologized. Don't keep thinking about this matter. Also, there's the internet to guide public opinion." "Well, we have never done anything like that." "Don't slander us," Liao Zhongli said. He had no choice but to listen to Mu Feiangfeng's suggestion of Hu Liancheng and Mu Wanru getting married. How could he have known that Hu Liancheng was so capable? Furthermore, he was very depressed. He could not understand why Hu Liancheng was still so weak when Hu Liancheng had such a powerful backing. He looked like he was about to fail. "Even if you didn't send the message, didn't you leak it? You dare to say that you're not the mastermind behind it?" After Granny Liao was done with her anger, the anger in her heart was released, and she felt much more comfortable. Speaking of posting online, Granny Liao could not help but glance at Ma Fangfang with the corner of her eye. Ma Fangfang had been sitting in the corner and did not speak. At this moment, Ma Fangfang's face was pale and extremely ugly. Granny Liao sneered in her heart. But Granny Liao was, after all, also a member of the Liao family. The fall of the Liao family would not benefit Hu Liancheng much. Therefore, she thought for a while and reminded, "If you want Liancheng to stop, you can only think of a way from Yun. I always feel that Yun's words are a little problematic." She said, "I can't get close to your family." These words sounded strange. It did not sound like something Yun could say with her personality. Liao Zhongli frowned when he heard that. "Little sister, you mean that these words are from our family?" When he said this, Liao Zhongli's eyes immediately turned cold. His cold eyes also shot towards Mu Fangfang. Mu Fangfang's entire body suddenly trembled, and her face became even paler. Even her hands were trembling. I have already said what needs to be said. What happens next will depend on yourselves. After Granny Liao finished speaking, she got up and left. Her heart was burning with anxiety and she called Hu Qingcheng as soon as she went out. When Granny Liao left, Liao Zhongli immediately dismissed all the juniors, leaving only Liao Shigong alone. He then reprimanded Mu Fangfang harshly. Tell me, is it you? Mu Fangfang was originally sitting on the sofa, but after being reprimanded by Liao Zhongli, she was scared to the point that her body slipped and she fell onto the carpet. Her face was pale and her eyes were filled with fear. Her lips were trembling and she could only look at Liao Shigong for help. Shigong. I also did not expect it to be like this. That night, Wanru and I went to see her together. But I really just wanted to help. Did you really say that? Liao Shigong frowned. Mu Fangfang did not dare to lie. She just covered her face and cried. She knew that the Mu family was finished now. She no longer had any backing. She could only rely on the Liao family. If she was abandoned by the Liao family again, she would have nothing. That night, Liao Zhongli was furious again. He pointed at Mu Fangfang and said angrily, Tell me everything you said and did. Qingcheng, what did you say? Liancheng went to Green Lake? Granny Liao heard Hu Qingcheng's words on the phone and could not help raising her voice in surprise. Yes, Grandma. I did not even finish my words before Big Brother left. I'm afraid he is already on the plane now. Hu Qingcheng was not worried. She pinched between her brows and said softly, There is actually not much conflict between the two of them. The only one is that misunderstanding. Jian Yun's misunderstanding towards Big Brother is too deep. This matter can only be explained by Big Brother himself. Granny Liao sighed, and then she became happy again. Qingcheng, are you free now? Accompany Grandma to go shopping. We will go and buy clothes for the little darling. Okay, Grandma. Hu Qingcheng and Granny Liao arranged a meeting place and hung up the phone. But then she frowned and felt a little uneasy. She felt that when she saw Granny Liao later, she must remind her to contact the best gynecologist, pediatrician, and hospital in the capital. After all, every time the successor of the Hu family was born, it was quite difficult. At that time, Hu Liancheng frowned like a sword on the plane. His handsome face was cold and gloomy. His entire person was like an iceberg, making the people around him not even dare to make a sound. After Jian Yun left, this was not the first time he went to King Hu, and it was also not the first time he went to see her. But previously, he had been secretly watching in the dark and did not have the courage to walk in front of her. He still remembered the last words she said in the tea room. She said that she hoped that she would never see him again. She must hate him to death. That was why she was so determined. At the same time, in King City. After coming out of the coffee shop, Jian Yun saw Monica waiting outside the door. She looked at her worriedly and smiled with a calm expression. Let's go. Along the way, Monica did not ask any more questions. She was a mature woman with a delicate mind. She came from a good family and had been very experienced since she was young. However, she lost to a man. Because she trusted him too much, she did not defend herself. Thinking about this, Jian Yun and Monica actually encountered the same thing in certain aspects. It was because they trusted men too much. In her world, there was only one man, so once she was betrayed, she would be in so much pain. Monica sent Jian Yun downstairs to the residential area and told Jian Yun that there was a phone call, so she drove away. The house Jian Yun and Ouyang Fei were currently living in was Ouyang Bisheng's wedding room. He bought it early and it was empty after the renovation. Previously, when Ouyang Fei was seriously injured and needed money, Ouyang Bicheng did not allow Jian Yun to borrow it from Hu Liancheng. He planned to sell this house to get money. After Jian Yun came back from the capital, she originally planned to rent a house and live with Ouyang Fei. But Yang Bicheng and Bai Yanran only said that they had a house in the army. They usually did not stay at King Hu and insisted that they stay here, so Jian Yun did not refuse. The elevator stopped on the 8th floor. The moment the elevator door opened, Jian Yun heard a familiar voice. Fei, I know I was wrong. Can you forgive me? In the past, it was me who was bewitched by Lin Rong that treated you like that. Now I really know I was wrong. Please give me another chance. The one who said this was naturally Jian Dongming. He stood outside the anti-theft door and kept knocking on the door. His face was full of pain and almost tears. There was no movement inside the door. Clearly, Yang Fei did not want to talk to Jian Dongming. Jian Yun also did not want to talk to Jian Dongming. Ever since she was exposed to divorce Hu Liancheng, Jian Dongming would call her every few days to scold her. If she did not answer the phone, he would send a text message to scold her. If he blacklisted a number, he would change it again. He could scold anything unpleasant. What kind of idiot? Bitch. If he had money, he would not do it. Even if he harmed Lin Lanlin, Jian Yun could not believe that it was something a father could say. After Jian Yun came back from the capital, she changed her phone number and moved to Qingqiu City with Ouyang Fei to develop this Linjiang district. It finally settled down for a period of time. Who knew that a month ago, Jian Dongming had found out their address from who knows where? Since then, he had come to find them every few days with only one goal, to remarry Yang Fei. However, Yang Fei's heart had been hurt by Jian Dongming a long time ago. When he had been so heartless for so many years and ignored their mother and daughter, her heart had completely died. How could she be willing to remarry Jian Dongming? Furthermore, Jian Yun saw very clearly why Jian Dongming would think of this move. It was only because she was rich that Jian Dongming was interested in her. The post about the Cinderella girl had clearly stated that she had divorced Hu Liansheng and gotten a few million yuan and 10 million yuan in real estate. This made Jian Dongming start thinking again. But Jian Dongming knew that Jian Yun hated him and hated him. She could not give him money, so he had set his sights on Yang Fei. When the elevator door opened, a voice came out. Jian Dongming turned around and saw Jian Yun walk out. His eyes immediately lit up. Jian Yun, you came back just in time. Quickly open the door and let Daddy in. Jian Yun could not see the frown on her face. The man in front of her was withered and his face was sallow. There was a circle of green under his eyes, and his face was sunken in. His entire body was full of a strong sense of dejection. When he spoke, the corner of his mouth would twitch nervously. He was completely a drug addict. Jian Dongming saw that Jian Yun did not move and was very impatient in his heart. But now that he needed Jian Yun's help, he could only suppress his dissatisfaction. He put a smile on his face and said flatteringly, Yun Duo, can you help me say a few good words in front of your mother on account of how good your father was to you in the past? I really want to turn over a new leaf and live a good life with your mother. You also don't want mommy to be the only one without daddy, right? Hearing this, the corner of Jian Yun's mouth curled up. It looked like she was smiling, but her smile was extremely cold. She knew that if she could not completely make Jian Dongming give up, he would definitely come and harass her and Yang Fei. Come in. Jian Yun pressed the password on the fingerprint password and opened the door to walk in. Jian Dongming followed behind her with a face full of joy. Yun Duo, you're back? Yang Fei heard the voice and immediately came out to welcome her. However, when she saw Jian Dongming behind Jian Yun, her expression instantly changed and she snapped. Why did you come in? You are not welcome here. Get out. Jian Dongming looked at Yang Fei and seemed to be in a daze. He had forgotten his purpose of coming in. Jian Yun looked at Jian Dongming's expression and could easily guess what he was thinking.